What's up, YouTube? Brett Hoover from Rants here. As always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave that comment down below. All right, so the Book of Boba Fett, episode 3 of season 1. Oh man, where do I even begin? Where do I even begin? Not gonna say it's the worst episode, but you know when you ever start off a review, um, for any episode and you say it's not the worst episode, I think you pretty much know at this point where this is going. Um, but please stay tuned because I have a lot more to rant on. Thank goodness this is Rants or Us, where I can do just that. Um, this was a terrible episode. Terrible episode. Again, no action, all talk. We get Boba Fett's weakest one on screen. Um, Saw cool ideas. I don't know how you could have a Rancor, a Wookiee bounty hunter, Boba Fett, all in the same episode in a car chase. Car chase. Have four things on screen, and it still be boring. I think that's got to be like the first time that has ever happened where you could have so much potential and then screw up so bad. That's exactly what this episode did. All right. Water merchant. No respect, he says. Water merchant, a water merchant, a water merchant. You heard that right. Comes up to Boba Fett, and the very first words out of his mouth is, nah, you have no respect. No one respects you. No one fears you. And you know what? Instead of Boba Fett, you know what? Taking his gun and shooting this guy and then saying, well, I bet they respect me now because anyone that says that to my face is going to get shot. No, no, no. He says, oh, please tell me. Please elaborate. So the water merchant goes and he tells him, hey, this gang uh, of robots that use that take parts and then they use it to enhance their abilities is stealing my water. If you take care of it, I'll give you more money. I'll pay in more tribute. So right off the bat, I'm like, sweet. We're talking about I don't know why I had it in my mind. I'm not a Star Trek fan, but I actually thought we were going to be getting something like the Borgs. Nope, we didn't get anything like the Borgs. We didn't get anything cool. We didn't get a Terminator. We didn't get the Borgs. We didn't get any of that cool things. Um, we we instead got teenagers on colorful bikes. I don't want to even say like speeders because they look more like bikes. In fact, I would go so far as to say they probably just mopeds in a lot of ways, and that's what they look like. Um, so then Boba Fett goes to these teenagers and he says, "Hey, give me back that water. Why are y'all stealing?" And they give him lip. They give him lip. They literally give him lip and blow him off. What does he do? Does he shoot them? Does he, I don't know, fillet them alive? Nope, nope. He offers them a job because they stood up to the mighty Boba Fett. They laughed in the mighty Boba Fett's face. Um, and he respects that. He respects um, being demolished, to be ridiculed. Um, he likes that type of person. That's one thing I have actually learned from the show. He loves that type of person. He'll give you a job. Um, so then he hires these guys. And again, he goes back to the mayor. And, he goes to the receptionist. What does he do? Receptionist says, and the Twi'lek guy um, come up there to him and they say, you can't see him, you don't have an appointment. Does he shoot them? No. Does he, I don't know, again, fillet them alive? Does he do something with his little jetpack thing? No. Does he kick them in the face? No, he does not. He instead ask the Twi'lek receptionist or assistant to go in there and fetch the mayor, who promptly locks the door and then takes off on what I can say is probably the single worst car chase in history. It was bad. It was what you would think when you have mopeds chasing after a car in slow motion. It was that bad. It really looked that bad. To make it even worse, that's when I noticed that every single one of these moped looking speeders actually is color coordinated, which just makes it even worse. Makes it even worse because all these teenagers are out there. One's got like this cybernetic eye, I guess to make him look, I don't know, cool of some way, which he didn't. They've got chains and they've got little stabbing knives, which just makes it even more laughable. It's like you're watching a 1950s gang movie. That is what you would expect in this from teenagers. Not tough teenagers either. Like, we're talking about like the weakest teenagers starting a gang that are like, I don't know, maybe Pokemon fanatics starting a gang and then, I don't know, going out there and trying to, I don't know, rob people. That's what we've got with these teenagers. Horrible, 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 horrible. Of course, the car chase ends kind of anticlimactic. And then we finally get to see the one thing that I really truly did enjoy, and that was the death of the Tuscans, which I thought was really cool. Simply because they've got to almost be done with the flashbacks by now. We can't have any more Boba Fett wanting to be a Tusken Raider. This reminds me of what is that movie with Kevin Costner, Dances with Wolves? Kind of reminds me a lot like that movie, not in a good way. I mean, that movie was actually good. This is crap that we're seeing on screen. Um, and turns out the killers of this Tuscan, these primitive, strong Tuscan Raiders get wiped out by this gang who is working for the Pikes, who actually, to their credit, actually look like a mob syndicate and actually act like one too, which I think is kind of awesome. That's kind of what I expected from Boba Fett, but of course we did not get that from Boba Fett. And for some reason, they go out into the Tatooine desert, destroy these Tusken Raiders out in the middle of nowheres in the desert, and then tag the tents with their symbol. Why? Why would you tag the tents with your symbol? Who are you tagging that for? Like, who are you tagging that for? No one might never find that. And if other Tuscan Raiders find that, they're not going to know what it is. So why would you tag it? It made no sense whatsoever. Didn't send a message at all. If it did, I don't know who it would be to. I thought that was really suspicious and really stupid. So, of course, now, I guess we're going to get another episode where he goes after this gang. I pray to God it's not that biker gang that he beat up that one time. If it's that and they're the ones that supposedly took out the Tuscan Raiders, that's going to be laughable to the extreme. Um, but I mean, like I said, I did actually enjoy the Pikes in this episode. They act like what you would expect a mob syndicate to actually act like. What Jabba the Hutt acted like. Instead, what we get a lot of from Boba Fett is we get him just kind of walking around with these teenagers as his bodyguards, and that's about it. Like it's silly. It's just literally silly. Um, but then we get something that I was like, when it happened, I was like, okay, okay. Everything up to this point has sucked. Everything has sucked up to this point. But now we get Black Chrysanthemum actually in a fight with Boba Fett, trying to assassinate him. Instead of shooting him, for some reason, he pulls him out of the tank and tries to fight. And then you get this fight scene between Boba Fett and this Wookiee. That is another one of the worst fight scenes I've ever seen in my life. It's literally what you would expect if you were a Wookiee fighting an old man, like a decrepit old man. Um, Boba Fett gets beat up terribly, terribly, gets beat up, and is saved by his teenagers, who have those little pointy knives, and who Kersantin, for some reason, is incredibly, incredibly scared of. He'll take on Boba Fett, supposedly, this great bounty hunter, but God forbid that you have to take on teenagers. That's where you just cross the line. That's his biggest fear right there. Is teenagers who have pointy knives, and if I'm not mistaken, one of them actually was throwing a chain, which 50s reference again. It really felt like that. Terrible, terrible. But anyways, Black Krrsantan ends up getting his butt kicked, and to make it worse, the scene ends with Boba Fett putting his robe on. So Boba Fett gets beat up, and then he's like, you know what? I'm gonna let my teenagers go out there and take care of this guy. I'm just gonna put on my robe. Like, seriously? Like, you just been almost assassinated, when the first thing you think of is, you know what? I'm gonna trust these teenagers to do something that I can't, and I'm gonna take the time to actually put on my robe, which crazy, 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 crazy. And of course, the Huts come there, the twin Huts come there and say, well, we trying to assassinate you. Sorry about that. What does Boba Fett do? Well, he does what he seems to be really good at, of threats, of, if I have to do this one more time, I'm going to give you a stern, stern talking to the next time. Because this is only the, I don't know, like the second assassination attempt in 3 episodes, or, well, yeah, second assassination attempt in 3 episodes that he has actually had to face. But he's cool with it. He treats the mayor, they're good. And he treats the Huts, they're good. They gave him a Rancor and Danny Trejo, which was cool to a certain extent. Um, but then what did Danny Trejo do? He's the Rancor trainer. We get to see, I don't know, the Rancor looks cool. Like, and he's finally got something to put in his pit. Doubt he'll ever use it. I mean, this Boba Fett don't seem like he's all for hurting anyone at this point. I don't even think we've ever. Well, I take it back. We got to see him kill one person, and it was a person that was fleeing, not a person he was fighting. A person that was fleeing, the scene, had his back turned to him, and of course he used his rocket on his back to blow that guy up. That was it. A guy fleeing. Because that's about all this Boba Fett can actually do at this point, is kill a guy that's running away. Yeah, so I mean, the Huts tell him, well, we tried to kill him. We'll give you this Rancor, give you Danny Trejo, and you can do whatever you want to with Krrsantan. And what does Boba Fett do to a guy that just tried to murder him and his teenage bodyguards? Well, he lets him go. Of course, he just lets him go. Not to hire him. He hires teenagers. He only hires green pigs and teenagers. Like, I don't even know the name of the green pigs. I know I should as a Star Wars fan. But they remind me of the pigs out of Duke Nukem and Angry Birds kind of mixed together. That's what they look like to me. That's what they feel like. Except Angry Birds might be a little bit more dangerous in a lot of different ways. But yeah, instead of hiring Black Krrsantan, he just says, just go your way, and, be careful who you work for next time. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the entire episode. Nothing cool happens. It looks like in the next episode we're gonna be getting the Pikes, maybe fighting Boba Fett for some reason. Not quite sure why, to be honest with you. Simply because at this point, I just feel like you could just take his walker away from him, and he would be, pretty helpless. It's not like he's going to shoot you with anything. I mean, as long as you're not running away, as long as you're looking right square dab in the eyes. He ain't gonna do nothing to you. I mean, that's the way I actually feel towards this Boba Fett now. He's toothless. He don't even make threats that even go anywhere anymore. Fennec Shan is tougher than he is. Period. Period. The teenage girl that gave him lip was tougher than he was. The one that has the pointy little knife. Not the guy, not the big bounty hunter that got ate in the Sarlacc pit that took on Jedi's. That has of course the big gun, the rocket on his back, and jetpack and all of that stuff. Like he's not a tough guy. But anyways, so yeah, I mean you get Danny Trejo, you get Rancor. That was kind of cool. You get probably the worst car chase scene ever. You get color coded teenagers as bodyguards. And then you get basically you know appointments that where the mayor doesn't want to see Boba Fett. I mean, that's it. That's it. I mean, is this the worst episode? No, it's not the worst. First episode was the worst. I think the second episode kind of made improvement. Third episode was bad. Not as bad as the first, but it was still pretty bad. Overall, it kind of just makes you wonder exactly who was this show made for. It feels like I remember Star Wars fans always saying, when it come to Rebels or when it come to the Clone Wars series, they're like, cartoons are for kids and things like that. Those cartoons were more brutal. There was people getting their heads sliced off and cut in half and, torn to pieces in those cartoons. This is the live action that all these adult Star Wars fans have been dreaming of. And then what do we get? We get something that I can watch with my little kids. And they would probably laugh along with me. Honest truth. Honest truth. They wouldn't know that this was the tough bounty hunter. They won't know that guy. Unfortunately, I don't think they're like I know this guy either. Definitely not the Boba Fett that was all out for money that I remember from, the original trilogy. That's not the same guy. But anyways, guys, let me know what y'all think down below. Overall, I'll probably give this episode maybe a 5 out of 10. Simply because it had Danny Trejo and a Rancor in it. That's it. That's it. But yeah, this show's going nowhere, guys. It's literally going nowhere. It's garbage. It is literally a weaker version of Mandalorian without Baby Yoda. I mean, to be honest with you, the Mandalorian actually has more bite than Boba Fett. Period. So yeah, maybe I'll look forward to that. I don't know. But anyways, guys, let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. And as always, thanks for watching. Y'all take care.